don't trust somebody, then don't trust them. It's a feeling in your gut. That's your solar plexus. Your solar plexus tells you about the environment, whether it's stable or unstable. You know, in the female community, they're always hugging. I don't know when this started, in the 80s or something, after some show, or the Housewives or whatever. They're like a bunch of lesbians. To me, it has always felt so insincere. I never liked it. I'm Northern Scotch, Highlander. We're not real demonstrative. We're not into overly affection with people who are not part of our significant others, chosen others. But the female community is always hugging. And in my heart, I think, this woman would turn against me in a minute. You know, it feels so insincere. I don't trust her at all. Love, love, love. It's so overused. Affection. I don't want this tactile thing. There's a transmission of spirits. I don't want their spirit in me, you know? I don't like that about the female community. Go hug somebody else. Go hug your pet. Go hug your husband. But keep your claws off of me. Woman who's sort of a distant relative, she comes up to me and she says, I need a hug. Something she heard on some show. Things travel fast through the female community, things they think they're supposed to do. It's a loving generation, isn't it? Liberals, people are good, the people are loving, so hug me, hug me. I need a hug. It's such a chore. I don't want to. I feel like some child where the grandmother comes around and wants to hug him and the child doesn't want to. It's insincere. It's substitutionary for real depth, for real true feelings. But when you need them, they're not around. If they really loved you, they'd help you move or help you with something, but they're not around there. It's just hugging they want. I think they're lesbians. To talk to you about alcohol allergy. Now, I did not know that I had alcohol allergy. That one drink, one seemingly innocent beer would send me on a toot for 2-3 weeks maybe, doing nothing but drinking beer and not eating. I used to call it beer fasting. It's genetic. It is a disease. Allergy and craving is the same thing. Allergy and addiction. The very thing you're allergic to, you can become addicted to. It's a strange, satanic reversal there. It gains magical properties because you're allergic to it. It reminds me of the movie Days of Wine and Roses with David Lemon, or Jack Lemmon, whatever his name is. He played the alcoholic. One little drink would send him off again until he'd end up in a mental hospital. It's an allergy where 1 is too many and 100 is not enough. You don't dare have one little drink, one little beer. Even NyQuil, cough medicine, will send you off. My father was a pharmacist. He owned La Mesa Drug Company, and it was against the law in California to sell cough medicine to Indians because they knew genetically it would send them off. You start drinking, you can't stop. It's a terrible disease that way. It took me half my life. Every once in a while this would happen. It wasn't a constant thing, but whenever I drank, it would turn into a terrible disaster of losses. I did not know what I looked like to other people. I do now, but I didn't then. Because when you're drunk, you don't realize what you look like to other people. But one drink would change my character totally, where I became a totally different person. The spirit would leave, and another spirit would come in. It's a conduit to the devil. You lose yourself completely. And the more exalted you are at birth, the more you lose yourself immediately with alcohol. And people would turn against me and never talk to me again. I didn't know. Because, you see, what sets in is anosognosia, the inability to see that you're killing yourself, and the inability to stop. It's a denial that happens in the brain. Anosognosia, look it up. It happens with the mere atom of alcohol. So this went on for years, every once in a while going off on a toot, not being able to see what I was doing, even though I would lock myself up in my apartment and take the phone off the hook because I knew I had telephonitis. I'd call everybody in town. Certain patterns would set in, all from fear and insecurity, and still they'd find me. I remember one time I was talking to LL Bean, ordering some clothes online from Maine, and I think I told the girl I wanted to commit suicide because alcoholics are alarmists, you know. And she called the cops in the city where I lived, and they came and got me out of my home. There's no hiding. And they hauled me off to the mental center. It was a terrible, terrible life. Thankfully, at the turn of the century, 2001, I saw the light, and that was it. I've never had another drink. And I went to the medical center. I had drank a lot of beer, and I died in the medical center, went baseline, and came right back. And I'll never forget Dr. Dewey. He says, you can never drink again. I have chemical sensitivities, multiple chemical sensitivities, MCS. I cannot drink alcohol ever again or you'll be dead. I never thought about it again. I never craved it again. It just like an unreal life. It was like another life altogether. It wasn't me. I had a total transformation in death. It was as if dying erased the craving, erased that other person. It wasn't me. It was a genetic thing. My parents were alcoholics. I have it in my other relatives, in-laws and things, well, my blood relatives. And my aunt once told me, you know, your relatives in Scotland, they either were great orators or they died in the gutter. There was no in between, depending on whether they drank alcohol. You cannot drink. And I just know this now. And maybe there are some of you who have this thing too, where you cannot drink. You cannot even have a beer ever, ever again. It's a strange thing, and it isn't talked about enough. When I was in graduate school, I sort of majored in alcoholism as a family disease, wife of the alcoholic syndrome. And it became in vogue at that time for the academics to say that you could learn to drink socially. Social drinking goals for alcoholics, it was called. It cannot be done. And there was the RAND report, a big grant. They brought a bunch of Skid Row alcoholics into the laboratory and taught them how to, they were sober too, taught them how to drink socially, and they all died. This is the danger of academics. It was because these academics were alcoholics themselves who didn't want to give it up, and they wanted to live in a dream world that they could learn how to drink socially. And all these people died. You see, an academic is going to write about, because you can always justify anything, you know. They're going to write about what they want for themselves, not the truth. The truth is, I take an AA position. You cannot have one atom. Because of my viewpoint, I lost my grant. See, that's the dirty politics in academics. But I really know it in my heart. It's the weirdest disease there is, alcoholism. Try to see that movie with Jack Lemmon. How he'd be sober and take just one little drink, and all of a sudden he ruined his father-in-law's garden, just ruined his whole life. And every time you drink again, this is the paradox of it. Let's say you stop drinking at phase 3 of your disease, and you're sober for 20 years. When you pick it up again, you'll be at phase 5. So it evolves even though you're not drinking. Every time you drink again, you're going to be much worse. It's a progressive illness. Don't drink. thing I had a problem with when I was in the other life. A different person altogether. Even with a different name, Maria Savetta. That's how weird everything was. A different name, different person, everything. Getting involved with narcissists. Now, with a narcissist, you finally see the light and you start to pull away. They will immediately go to somebody else, either to make you jealous or they're in a panic because they've lost confirmation. Being affirmed by outer cues is their whole thing. And so when you begin to pull away, they panic and go to somebody else. Don't let it get to you. Stay firm in your silence. Be alone. To be alone is superior. They're grouping up. They're groupies. It's not superior to be a groupie and to get a friend and the friend is visiting you all the time. So what? You're superior if you stand alone. You don't need to go to somebody else. It's that type of thing that just held me in these systems forever before I started studying it and understanding it. That was a long time ago. Thank God those years are over. I wouldn't want to return to youth. I certainly wouldn't want to be any younger because I had to go through all that. My Ph.D. in the streets after my education. My Ph.D. in the streets is where I had my real learning about people and addictions and substances like food. I learned all that. It took years. I wouldn't want to go back because immaturity, as you age, that is the crown of glory. That is the true party. I think the female community has a hierarchy all set up. They feel superior. They have this thing in their head. There's a hierarchy, and they're superior because they're more connected. They are connected and you aren't. You don't have any friends and they do. It's all bull. It's the social generation, but they feel superior. So they just naturally hate you because you see the light and they can sense it. It's nothing you're even saying. You just won't go to their events and you're not interested and you're not impressed by the same things they are, and they can sense it, and they start to have a war with you. Then they start gossiping and smear campaigning. The female community is the biggest obstruction to female genius, more than men. It's other women, including your own mother. Her mother may be a narcissist. Narcissist mothers hate their daughters, jealous of their daughters. The daughter's beginning to blossom at age 16. The mother's in her 40s is fearing the loss of attention in public. People aren't looking at her anymore. That's all that matters to them is social affirmation. And so she takes it out on her daughter. It's hard being a woman, not so much from men, although that's very bad. It's from women. That is the worst. Narcissists, they set it up where they have the right to acknowledge whether or not you exist. They use silent treatment like a rudder. When you act right, they attend to you. When you don't, they remove it. You don't exist now. Nobody has the right to tell you whether you exist or not. You have to just not care. Put up signs all around. I don't care. I don't care. I have them all over my home. I don't care. Because they want you to care. They're trying to get a rise out of you. You exist because you're a child of God. You exist because you have a foundation, and you're building a foundation. Built on whatever. For me, it was eating right, being physically fit, studying, writing, what do I feel? What are my limitations? Well, I don't want to get involved socially. I don't want to be hugged by insincere females. Things like that. Learning about yourself. It takes years. Keep a journal. That's your foundation. Then you don't need their confirmation. They don't have a right, but that's the whole setup with the narcissist. Withdraw from them and then make room for godly people to come in. You see, the world is stuck in ruts with people. We should just be getting the confirmation of God and evolving in our talents, and becoming renowned in our talents because it's unique. It was chosen by God before our birth. But we're stuck in systems and we're stuck in cycles. That's what my work is all about. All disease is obstruction. We're stuck. All recovery is elimination. Get rid of debris. They're just debris. And then all success will be attraction. Dissolve your obstructions, people, addictions, and food, and you will snap to your goals waiting in the wings. We're all stuck. Get unstuck, and then you will just zoom to the top. We're set up in the brain from ancient times for mutuality, for community. It keeps us from starvation, it gives us protection. We're just set up that way, but it gets perverted. It becomes dominance. And who's dominating? Oh, the head woman. She's the most popular. She's the most connected. She looks the best. She's the head queen. Oh no, she's not. Not over me. I don't accept that. And if you don't accept their superiority because they're liberal or they know more or they're more connected and they have the means at their disposal to ruin you with their gossip, when you can't fight that way because you don't even know anybody, you're in your home studying and writing and not minding your own business, and they can ruin you. That's the way it is. Our ancient desire for mutuality is perverted to give, just to admire the head female, the alpha female. She's not an alpha female to me. It's just dominance. And watch her crumble if you withdraw support. Watch her get so angry. Watch the mean girl bully try to ruin you. That's the female community. You're insecure like that, when you need approval from the other women, love bombing and withdrawal. Love bombing and withdrawal. That is the worst weapon. They love you, they give you support, and then they disappear, they're nowhere. And then they become an addiction. It gains magical properties. She becomes magical to you because we want what we can't have. And the same thing works with men with women. A man loves a woman because she acts like that. She loves, she withholds. She loves, she withholds. She uses sex that way. It's a form of witchcraft. Women will, withhold sex as a way of punishing him, and he becomes addicted. Don't let these ancient properties in the brain take over your life. See it for what it is. Gain your own foundation as an individual and get out of these systems. Oh, when will love return? When will he love me like he did at the beginning? It reminds me of cocaine. It's so good that first time, and it never happens again. You never get that original high. It's the same thing with love. Intermittent reinforcement is the strongest, the hardest to extinguish. They know that in psychology. And that's why people stay with jerks for decades. All they want is that original hit. It's really bad. Maybe it's my restrained Scottish Highlander background. But we weren't demonstrative. We were taught, no effusive affection in public. I mean, even with your spouse, no gushing. And it's embarrassing to watch women hugging. It's like a substitution for real affection, for real godly love. There's a transmission of spirits. If you touch me or hug me, your spirit comes into me. I may not want that. When I see it coming, I think, oh no, not again. It's so insincere. Another thing they do is yell, yeah, like children. And that's another thing that started with the housewives on TV, I think. Women yelling, screaming like dumb broads, like children, and then hugging and kissing each other, They want, praise. They suffer from lack of praise. And so they substitute with hugging. I go for the more restrained Scottish. We just aren't like that. We don't show our affections in public. There's something very undignified about it. It's modern America. It's a sinful generation. There's got to be some compensation for sin, and that's it. Manipulation, deception, indifference. But the empath leads with his boundaries, not his heart. You don't, oh, I love you. No, his boundaries come first. The Scotch have castles and moats around them and dogs and fences. It's boundaries. And if I let you in my life, fine. I choose very carefully, not just accept everybody effusively and hug. No way. You choose very carefully. It's an evil world. It's a totally different viewpoint. And the Scottish were very religious. It goes with religion, to love God first and to know that there's evil in the world, not to just accept everybody unvetted and, no, she's my best friend. We're friends now, and effusively hug. That is a compensation for the evil in the world. Be a human ethologist. Ethologists look at animals in the environment, not animals in a laboratory, animals adapting to their environment. If the environment is crazy, they will be crazy, unless they can rise above it. We are humans, we have a brain. Take note. Always look at the environment, always. And never just assume she loves you because she's hugging you. I guess you could call her a relative. When they're broke, relatives come out of the woodwork. Anyway, I need a hug, she says. I need a hug. To affirm that I'm on her side. It wasn't necessary. I gave her a place to live anyway. I don't need all the hugging. But then it's followed with indifference or the silent treatment when I don't do something she wants. The minute that happens, stop hugging. When they're using the silent treatment as a rudder to control you and deceiving and indifference, and they won't help you when you need them, and then they want to hug you again, that's a mixed up environment. The maladaptation, look at it as an animal in the wild, and the maladaptation to a mixed environment is exhaustion. Look at people as animals in the wild. They adapt to their environment. If their environment is insane, they will be insane. They will maladapt. We are a part of our environment. Is there mixture? Is there hugging and loving and then indifference and silent treatment? Take note and write it down.